Ladies and gentlemen, those between and those far out, my name is Cass Phoenix, and welcome to another broadcast from the U Idaho Esports Twitch channel. Familiar face, maybe, maybe not. But today I have our pre-show interview guest right here, Dr. Dean Kahler, Vice Provost for the SEM and Strategic Enrollment Management
You're
Division.
all over it, man.
Yes. It's long.
It is.
I would imagine it'd just be strategic enrollment, but then there's like the management part.
Yeah.
Would you want to formally introduce yourself to the stream? You know, talk about what you do, who you are here at Univi.
Yeah, sure. Hey, thanks for letting me join you guys down
Yeah,
here.
of course.
It's a really neat place to visit. Every time I come down, I'm just like, wow, it's cool. So Dean Kahler, Enrollment Management, and I've been here at the university for a little over 9 years. And my responsibilities are to provide the leadership for all of the recruitment, marketing side, bringing students to the university, and then helping all of the rest of the leadership on the campus with the retention of our students and student success. So, academic advising and supporting them with financial aid and scholarships and, career services and our international students and helping them. So a fairly large division and a lot of, I got my hand in a lot of different, types of activities.
Yeah, it definitely seems so. I was talking, I believe, to Mario Pyle the other day on Tuesday for our Valorant stream. If you guys want to check out that VOD, shameless plug, whatever. But I'm curious about learning about like the bureaucracy of the university and stuff like that. And it's like obviously one department leads to another, and like all these things are obviously involved in so many different things. And you have a very important position, I would argue. And it seems like your whole work history has kind of been that. And I was curious about learning where that started, and I saw that you had gotten your MPA at Southern Illinois in something administration.
Yeah, Masters of Public Administration.
Yeah. And then you got your doctorate in educational administration.
You got it.
Those are not fields that I hear too much about. How would you say that one knows, or I guess how did you know that administration was a field that you actually wanted to pursue, especially in the like institutional and educational sphere?
Yeah. So while I was working on my master's, I was actually not headed the higher ed direction. I was actually in law enforcement, and so I wanted to continue that career. But while I was there, I ended up kind of discovering, how much fun education is. And so I just stayed on and continued on with, my doctorate. And long story short, while I was working at the university, some great opportunities came across my desk, and my future mentor then said, gosh, you should really look at this new field called enrollment management. And so, I kind of started looking at it, and, things just kind of started unfolding in front of me with my skill sets, and ended up that 30 years later, look at here I am.
You're just in a very naturally fitting position.
Yeah.
No, that's super cool. You've kind of moved around a lot in that sphere as well, just in terms of like institutions that you've worked with. Like, I believe, from what I saw, anyway, your first institution that you were in such an executive administration position was with University of Arkansas at Little Rock.
Well, Southern Illinois University first.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, I did not see that.
Yeah, and then Western Kentucky University.
I see.
Yeah, go Toppers there. and then University of Arkansas Little Rock. And then here. I did work for a brief moment with an international education firm for a few years with them. And started an international pathway program in the U.S. Out of Australia, and so I traveled the world, but those have been my 5 big areas that I've worked in while I'm in higher ed. Yeah,
and speaking of the moving thing as well, coming from Arkansas, Kentucky, more like eastern, southern United States, all the way up to Idaho. Now, I remember that Mario Pyle, again, that I had talked to on Tuesday, had done a very similar thing, started a lot of his career at Boise State, and then, moved up to Moscow to be a little bit closer to his son and stuff like that. But what drove you to Moscow, and also what encouraged you to stay for so long? Again, you've been here for going on like 9 years now.
Yeah, yeah. So when I was in Arkansas, I was really, really excited about student success, and kind of working with a school that really, really you got to get your hands dirty and work with student success. And so from a distance, in the Midwest, I saw what was going on at U of I. An opportunity came up. I was on the market, and I said, gosh, wouldn't it be cool if that would be a great fit for me? And so I threw my hat in the ring, and fast forward, I came up for an interview, and I must have done an okay job with that. And so they offered me the position. There's a lot of really cool things that were going on here. I was passionate about it. The portfolio that I would have been working with, my current portfolio, was really, really what I felt like I could really leverage and make a difference in. And so, yeah, it all worked out. And that then president there was interested in bringing me on board. And so talked with my family. They said, yeah, let's go give this a try. We'd never been to the PNW. And so we packed everything up and moved.
Well, I mean, that is very awesome. Now, I'm curious because I don't know too much about the Midwest. I know you did your undergrad at Winona. And I've always figured in my head, mind you, I'm from Southern California. I'm a big city boy.
It's just like Idaho, right?
Yeah, I was going to say. But like, what? This sounds weird. I don't mean to make it sound weird just because of like the tone of my voice. Or it's like,
all good.
What do you like more about being here than you did about being like in the Midwest? Like, obviously, you had stayed for so long.
Yeah.
Something about it must have appealed to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I mean, hey, I'm working at the best university in the United States, in the world. Okay, and I go all over the world talking about this university, and so this is truly a fabulous university. And anybody who's out there listening that's at the wrong school, we just got to tell them that this is a really, really awesome place. And so that's the first thing. And then I love Moscow. I love the community. I love everybody that we work with and everything. So the people in the Pacific Northwest are really, really unique, and they're really very, very neat. Okay. So that's really, I think, kind of an attractive thing. And then you add on top of that the geography of this area. I mean, we've got the Rocky Mountains, like, right there. We've got these amazing rivers and streams, and I'm a fly fisherman, and so I'm always, trying to figure out if I can get a day to go out and, catch a fish and or camp, and the hiking, and this is just a really, really great place. I would have to say that this is probably one of my favorite places I've ever lived in my life. Yeah.
Wow.
And so that keeps me here. Yeah.
I mean, I'd say that's a pretty convincing argument. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I've been to. I lived in San Diego twice. And I've lived all over the United States. I've lived around the world, and this is a pretty amazing place. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you say so. I think I'd agree with you, especially geographically. I'm not even more of an outdoorsman, but I like being in pretty places. And Moscow, I would argue, is a very pretty place.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, personally, I came here to do esports, and obviously I cast esports. I work here. Yep. I've been here for a while, as I've been telling you.
Doing a great job. Keep going.
What would you tell a prospective student or someone who is considering the U of I to kind of sway them here? I don't know if that's a strange way to word that.
How would you recruit them? Yeah. Yeah. The interesting thing is, just every year I get to go out and talk to about 7,000 students, prospective students, about, going on to college and how important that is, and talking about the U of I and the great things that are here. And in every single one of my presentations, I mention esports. And
really?
Yeah. And talk about what the cool opportunities are, because people just aren't aware that you can go to college and you can be on an esports team, and you can pick up some scholarships off that, and you can get engaged and have a really, really fun social life with some really fun people, and they just don't know that. And so I go into the conversation, and part of my presentation to talk about, hey, college is hard. College is, there are things that you got to be aware of, but college is also fun. And I give some examples, and one of them is, esports, and people are always caught off guard by that. So I talk about it quite a bit.
Well, that's super awesome to hear. I'm glad you have us in your hearts.
Yeah.
I suppose that is all I have for you for the most part. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to talk to you. I'm glad you got to see the space.
Yeah.
Glad you got to sit on the couch. Was the couch comfortable?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate Dr. Kahler.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I'm going to be transferring this back to our caster desk. Tonight, our Rocket League junior varsity team will be playing VWU. So you're going to be able to hear a little bit more about that from them. But in the meantime, that'll be it from me today. So from the Analytics Corner and the U Idaho Esports program, I'm wishing you a farewell and enjoy the festivities.
And go Vandals.
And go Vandals.